What up, Pyro? Yeah. All right, we've got kind of an emergency stream, I guess. Not emergency. Feels like the wrong word. Basically, I'm still pissed that I found this rat when I thought I was done. So we're gonna try to run through this painting process on this one rat in one go. I'm gonna try to record a bunch of it because I think I want to try to get enough stuff together to do a how I do OSL or how I do glow effect video. And from there, we'll figure out what we're gonna do. I came back today, I checked on the Warpsmith glue. It's not good. I'd have to, hang on. Yeah. So it holds, but you'll notice there's a lot of like crap there. So I'm gonna have to come up with another method. I have another method personally. Like I do have another method. It involves some of the wiring. These guys specifically, or do you have rat assassins or plague rats? Like there's a bunch of rats. There's a lot of rat options to enact a rat catastrophe, or a rat-tastrophe, as people call it. Because I'll need to grab their cards, which honestly we could probably do. Because we're going to have to wait between actions here. I got to get the primer on. Because I don't know plague rats. So if you're actually asking about plague rats, I have no clue. I'm not the person to ask. We did have someone in chat yesterday who was like, I love the plague rats. So that probably would have been an ideal time. But these guys, to my understanding, are a little weird, I think. The tournament I went to, there was a guy there. And I think he said he had this team. That's too much paint. Oh well. I think he said he had too much... No, yeah, I know the Underworld's website. I actually used it because I was debating, let me get a glove. I was debating doing like battle reports, and I still kind of want to. I just need to get it together. And I was thinking to myself, well, how do I do the cards? Because I watched some Magic the Gathering stuff. It was like a Magic the Gathering, I guess, clip show that I saw. And whenever they played a card, the card would pop up on screen for like a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I kind of want to do that. Which one's the Hexbane? This isn't Hexbane, is it? No, this shouldn't be Hexbane. Underworlds. Hexbane Hunters. Yeah, the Hexbane are the Witch Hunters. That could be cool. I mean, if they're two teams in one, does that mean you have to like pick specific things to take? Like, is it one of those situations of you either take 2 dogs or you take like 1 archer or something? All right, let me get this focused. Let me get this set. Hit the cam button for record. Beautiful. No. Where's my pokey stick? Turn off recording. Oh, so they inspire separately? Like you can only, that's kind, like that is a thing. Inspire mechanics aren't always, oh yeah, you get to inspire and then that's what you are. Because the Stormcast team that I have, apparently you inspire when you activate the unit, and then when you activate another unit, that unit inspires, and then other units you have on the field uninspire. So like, there's a back and forth because the inspiration effect actually triggers AoEs, which is pretty cool, actually. Pretty pog. Pretty pog. Let me get these rats, because I want to make sure these are the rats that I'm thinking of. There was a person at the tournament who was complaining about them. He hated their mechanics. He didn't understand kind of how they worked, I guess. Let me go grab their cards while we wait for this black primer to dry. We have to then titanium white, fluorescent pink. All paints had. Yeah, so you're keeping it close. There's probably, once you start realizing what cards he's using, like, are you guys playing Rivals? Let's see where my rat box is. Rat box. Are you guys playing Rivals format? So it's like you know what the deck is? Because one of the key elements in Underworlds is understanding decks. It's probably the one element you need to. Why do I have so many? Oh, it's one of the key elements you need to like figure out. Spike Claw. Here we are. As something that is kind of like the way you play. Because if you play against me using Ephelims and I'm using the Ephelims deck, you need to know, hey man, I need to keep you away from points on the field. I need to keep you from going to these areas. I need to prevent technically you from being multi-staggered. The whole thing. So these guys. Try to not make it glossy for you. Fighter is chosen, target of a ploy. Yeah, so his whole thing was he hated these guys need to be targeted by ploys in order to be enhanced. Every single one of them has to be targeted by a ploy in order to be enhanced. Which sucks because 2 wounds, 2 wounds, 2 wounds, 3 wounds, 4 wounds. And there's a lot of ploys in existence that are straight up just like, huzzah. You now have to deal with frickin' damage, which kind of sucks. Choose a friendly minion that is out in action, place the chosen fighter on an enemy. So this guy can just resurrect. Like, you need to make sure this guy is good, and then he just keeps resurrecting. The thing is, it says on a chosen, place the chosen fighter on an empty start hex. Wording wise, I don't know if that means your starting hex. You might be able to drop that on an enemy starting hex, which is actually very powerful. Range 1 or range 2 attack actions made by this foe. If they're supported, they have Grievous. That's actually pretty good. What up, Rax? So he gets more attack than this guy. More damage potential. Damage potential, it looks like. It looks like mostly damage. More attacks. This is the main guy. 2, 2, 5, 1. More defense on this guy. Ooh, he also has abilities. After a friendly switch is taken out of action. Draw 3 power cards? Holy crap. Friendly switch is out of action. This fighter is a leader. Scritch. So, friendly Scritch might only be this guy. Because he's a Scritch Spite Claw. So, basically, if you can keep this guy alive and kills your leader, you get a bunch of cards, and then this guy becomes your leader. Schemer. He has Schemer, the range 1. He gets the Grievous benefit as well. Even love to work. More attacks. Yeah, more attacks. Is it still... Okay. Is it still buzzing? How about now? I think I figured out why it might be buzzing. Is it still buzzing now? Right now? What about now? Okay, so I'm gonna move this really close to my headphones. It's all, so it does buzz when I talk, though. I know these things are awkward a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna move this thing really close to my headphones. So how about now? Is it a little bit buzzy now? Because my headphones are down here to the side and I have it next to them, and usually magnetism, which tends to be something that is kind of involved in headphone work. See, like I don't want to use, I'm using these things. Wireless microphones. And I've used them for recording battle reports, and I've thought they've been okay with the battle reports, but usually when I'm listening back to battle reports, I do occasionally hear crackles and buzzing, which makes me think either if it's plugged in, it might be a problem. Yeah. So it'll fix itself. Eventually, when I get my other microphone over here, I'm gonna move the current microphone that I have like off to the side over to my art table. So we'll just have like a proper microphone at the art table rather than one that, because I know these get weird sometimes. But yeah, we're still waiting for this guy to dry. So if you're playing Rivals and you're playing like the main deck Rivals for the rats, the issue the guy had was the ploys you have access to, they don't target your stuff normally. Push each friendly minion up to 1 hex towards the nearest enemy fighter. I don't think this targets them specifically. The wording on this is a little weird, because it says if you're the target of a ploy, then that works. But if you play this, I don't think the units themselves are a target. If it is, then this ploy here is like the best. Right? Like this is actually the best, because once you play it, every single one of your minions should be inspired. But I don't think that's the case, because you actually have to straight target the individual. +1 damage to the first range 1 or range 2 attack action made by friendly fighter. by a friendly fighter. So this doesn't even target a unit. You just play this and it sits in play until someone uses an attack in the next activation. Play this during an enemy fighter's attack action after the out of action step. If a friendly fighter was taken out of action, push up to 2. Yeah, so this doesn't even work either. +1 defense to friendly fighters in the next activation. This is also universal, so it's not fully targeting. So you've played them a lot. Pyro in chat is wondering how good they are, or wondering elements about them. So to my understanding, there's only like one card in their rival's ploy deck that works where it targets them to inspire them. The whole point of the squad is that if an enemy targets them, they get inspired. So enemies have to kind of work out exactly when they want to target you to make sure that you die. One of their key elements is that their leader can, every time it activates, just bring units back, it looks like. So you just keep sending people at people. And I don't think when they come back, they're not inspired anymore. That changes. I can try to change frequency on it. Hang on. Alright, frequency should be changed. This is Warhammer. It's in the AOS system, but it's a lot smaller. This is what I'm bringing to Too Many Games. Because you were like, oh, let's play a game. And I was like, oh. This is, like, there's no way I'm bringing one of the big games to Too Many Games. We're not setting that up and then trying to play like a 4-hour round of something. Like, it's not happening. The little stuff, though, like, we could play a round of this. You'll most likely know how to play it after a round, and then we could play like an actual game. A best of 3, even. And just go for it. But yeah, so the big things with Spike Claws was that it's more about them getting targeted by enemies with abilities. They're probably better in pre-construct. Because then you can get ploys that target your unit specifically, which is probably a bit better for their enhancements. But honestly, I think them in Rivals mode is also pretty good. Because almost every enemy army, every enemy warband, is literally just like, I target your unit with ploy. Have fun. Yeah, but dude, did you play Magic the Gathering? Ever? Or like a simple Pokemon game or Yu-Gi-Oh? Because it's practically the same thing. There's only like a slight enhancement to it. And again, for everyone joining in, this is what happened with the chain we glued yesterday to try to see if we could pre-glue chains for my Warpsmiths. And there is a bunch of crap on the bottom of it, so it didn't work out. We're gonna have to try something different. I don't know how we're gonna do it. I might, honestly, I might look at the art store today. The art store carries armature wire. So we have armature wire, which I usually use to build small stands if I want to like glue something in weird ways or hold something up to dry. This is really thick. This was meant, I purchased this specifically for the Helldrakes so I could put the Helldrakes up and then varnish them without the base being attached. So that kind of worked out. But they also sell small armature wire. So what I'm thinking is, because this wire is very wide, I might just cut a length and then get a thin armature wire to run through it, through the middle. And then just like glue it that way in a position I like. Yeah. Oh no, super glue is probably best. I just need the super glue to not pool. I need it to be able to like flow where it needs to go. Because when we had it laid on a surface and I placed the super glue along the surface, the hope was that it would shrivel and dry. Instead, it pooled on the bottom and then dried as like a pool, which that is not what I wanted. I might need to look for super glue that comes with a brush or something. That way I can brush it on, which might be better. This guy dry yet? I think these guys are good, honestly. I think they're a fairly good pack because this is one of the few teams I know of that has a revive function that is pretty consistent. Ephelim's has a revive, but it's a single card, and I think I have to cast it as a spell. So I can only possibly bring one unit back, and if you've killed my leader, I can't even do that. So like there's elements to Ephelim's where it's not that great, but Ephelim's is really good because Ephelim's has a lot of burst damage, as well as field control. He's still a little wet. We still gotta wait a little bit. But yeah, I like how they came out. I do. I think they came out really nice. I like that I went with the green cloaks. That was actually super fun. Gonna go with the green cloaks. Light gray fur, a white fur leader. I like that I did the oxidization to the brass armor as well. I was supposed to have my box that I ordered here yesterday, which I was going to put all of my Underworld stuff in. Apparently it's not going to be here till tomorrow, maybe. Yeah, man. That's how we pieced them together. And now we gotta rapidly do it to this one too. So I'm gonna record every step. That way I can actually put out a video. I'm a little annoyed and I'm kinda sorry that I didn't really have the time to do a video this week. Doing short one-off videos that are mostly just about me talking about a topic just feels weird. That's the thing. I don't even really care what the light source is. The idea is maybe there's like some kind of cracks in the sewer floor or something that has like energy glowing. Because isn't the whole thing about Skaven that they're sort of living in the sewers under one of the human cities, in like the twisting tombs and catacombs, and it's like magic and stuff under there? Because the whole thing with the on-field Skaven is like they come up through gnaw holes, which are like magical holes now that move around. I don't know if they're good to watch though. Like that's the thing. I recorded the audio for it. I actually recorded the audio for it. I made some assets for it, which we're gonna use in other things. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking of editing it. I put all the audio together and I was listening back to it and it didn't feel good. Like it didn't feel good at all. Like I was just listening to me talk about stuff and I was like, oh, I don't like this. Because it's just me talking about AOS, the announcements that happened on Saturday. And I wouldn't have been able to get the video out till maybe Wednesday. And then I'm looking around at other people who are doing the one-off videos for these announcements and it's literally like next day. And I get it, the videos aren't as like edited as mine. It's just a person sitting in front of a camera talking, which, I mean, that's pretty pog. Yeah, but the, what was it? The Warhammer Plus show where that group of people go into the sewers to discover stuff. They found like vampires or things and undead. Don't they run into Skaven occasionally? Like there was that one video where they went down into the sewer and it was just an ocean of Skaven running at them. And then they had to like escape, so they went up through the tunnel with the rope. Their assassin got out and they had no idea where she went or something. I feel like that's what they do, right? Like they just like rip little holes magically in the world and just dive in and just reappear somewhere else. That's kind of fun. It's just the pink element. I feel like he's just about dry. There's still some wet spots on his leg. This one's gonna be pink from below as well, just like the others. It's gonna be similar to that. I love this method because it's literally you look at the model and go, all right, is there something I don't want to paint the detail for? And then you go like, all right, that's the part that's getting the light. You go with it. Like, man, that's because for this guy, it was man, that's a lot of stuff on his armor, on that chest. A little chest plate, some chainmail, some plate armor. Looks like there's some brass coverings, a lot of cool little light. Don't need to worry anymore. Uh-oh. Okay, that's weird. Had to reset my Wacom monitor. I was seeing all these little green dots blinking all over the place. They're gone now. God, I always hate it when hardware starts acting up, because I don't know what the issue is. Me resetting it though makes it feel like it was the monitor itself. Always a bad feeling. It's not anywhere else. It's not a video card problem. Oh well. Alright, so this should be... I mean, it's just that little crack right there. I think we're fine. We're gonna paint it from this side anyway. Probably one of the biggest reasons I'm not enjoying this Wacom monitor as much is all of the wires that you need in order to use it and like plug stuff in and change things. They have a back plate that you have to remove in order to get to the places to plug everything in. That is insane to me. The fact that I cannot quickly be like, oh, this is weird, let me make sure the connecting point for the video is fine. And then having to like go in and make adjustments. Instead, it's just like, oh, uh-oh. Oh no, do I gotta shut everything down and pull stuff apart? And I hate that. I hate that so much. Just let me quickly unplug, replug stuff in, make sure it's all good. Alright, so next step in this process, Liquitex white ink. No, yeah, that dude, my Genestealer cult, I didn't want to paint them. I genuinely, I just wanted to get them done and put out. So I just did ISO, or friggin' some single source. Like, that's all I did, was just ambient light, single source light. Like, stuff, it's just simple. Simple little BS with some, kind of like stencil textures. recording going. The trick is if you start with black primer, as we have, you do need to hit it with white. And it's kind of hard to hit it with like good smooth white. You usually have to like thin down some paint and, you know, work that way. That's not good. The primer's stuck around the nozzle maybe. Oh, it's not properly pulling back. I'm gonna have to like full clean this when this is done. I don't really have much. Oh my god, what the hell? I don't really have much to airbrush after all of this. There we go. The goal is you just pick the side you want to OSL, and then you kind of lightly you can get that base white down that you know you want, and then you can actually pick a couple spots to go brighter, like the head and chest, maybe the knee. It goes on real smooth though, which is great. There you go. That's where he's going to be lit from. Yeah, so does he, I'm guessing you're saying he manually does the blending, like does he do 2-color dry brush blending or something? Or does he do wet on wet? There's a lot of videos out that show that approach, where you're actually like manually making the OSL. I guess people are interested in that. The whole idea of just being like, oh, I don't own an airbrush, I don't want to maintain an airbrush, I don't want to fix an airbrush, I don't want to clean an airbrush. I'd rather be able to do it with a dry brush or something. Because I've seen, I think in the past like week, YouTube has suggested to me maybe like 20 different videos that are like, hey man, do you want to do OSL without an airbrush? It's like, I have an airbrush though. Why would I? Why would I care? Take that, algorithm. It is worthwhile knowing though, because there's things you can do with a brushed base OSL to kind of prepare what you're doing for other things. Like there's a sort of a notion. I think one of the best videos I've seen that shows it. It was actually a YouTube short. Oh, I should probably stop recording. That was a lot of recording. I wonder if the robotic thing had anything to do with this monitor getting weird. Like a mini power surge or something. Get the pink down. pretty much same deal. What's cool is high flow paint, specifically the fluorescence, is not great at it's not really opaque. Like, you need white surfaces for the brighter colors to get it to work. So it does kind of darken down in areas, which is nice. It's so simple. Boom. Pink glow. No, yeah, wet on wet is great. If you're looking for like a way to blend without really needing stuff, like I've used wet on wet for non-OSL stuff. I've actually used wet on wet in order to try to make a two-colored surface blend between the two colors. Like, what was it? My Magnus, the fabric on my Magnus goes between, I think, purple and blue. So I start at the bottom with I think the blue, and then I went near the top with the purple, and I just wet on wetted it. I just pulled into each color until it mixed in the middle in a way that I liked, and that was it. You're done, which is great. It's a great technique. It's a great method to try to get some good blending going, which is nice. If you do it quick enough, like I did, I actually had 2 brushes and the colors I needed. I know people like Miniac have talked about doing wet on wet, utilizing some medium enhancer, the stuff that slows down drying. That works. You can 100% do that. But I kind of wanted to just do it. Like I just wanted to be like, and we're done. That was kind of the only thing I really cared about at the time. Was just getting it to work. Gotta get all this pink out. What's up, Matthias? All right. The final step of the airbrush approach to this rat method is applying high flow cobalt liquid turquoise. This is a high flow paint that I have found it's not that glossy. It's only like a semi-gloss, which is good. And it's actually fairly opaque. So it's a good start for like a shadowy color. And what I do is I go from the other side of where the light is. We treat it kind of like a reverse OSL. That way you've got that nice warm shadow, or the warm underlighting, not shadow, and then the nice cool shadow area. And the cool shadow area plays into where you're gonna paint on the model, which now that he's got that layer down, we are done with the airbrush. I can start pulling colors out and we can start going ham, which we're gonna need to do. I want this guy done today, because we might stream again tomorrow, and I really want to work on the Warp Smiths. Genuinely, I just want to work on the Warp Smiths. No, yeah, you need to be quick, which is what I do. Like, if you're... That's why I usually rock the 2 brushes. I'm doing it on a wet palette because I'm trying to keep the pigments pretty clear. Also, freaking black and orange is black, orange to yellow. Pretty good. Orange is a solid for anything OSL just because it is a torch color. I actually did that with my my Abaddon model, which I can show. Don't know if you guys have seen. A few of you probably have. Simple little OSL. Did an underlight function on them though. And then did the little OSL torch as like an extra thing. And now I have an Abaddon just in case. Because from the sound of it, and I might do a video on this when this happens, I'm going to do a video showing my process of moving over my Thousand Suns into Chaos Space Marines. And the list building that's going to go into that. Because, man, I want to tinker with a codex. And I do kind of find it weird that the first codex I'm going to be getting for stuff that I have is GSC. Because GSC is my tertiary army. GSC is the 3rd army in the list of my armies. Where I'm like, oh, I can't wait to play. When I'm thinking of playing, it literally in my brain goes, do I want to play, do I want to play Thousand Suns today? I don't know, maybe not. I could play one of my meme lists, or I could try a list out. I don't know, I don't think so. Let's, do I want to play Knights? Do I really want to just, like, kind of kick it into neutral, see what happens? I could do that. Knights are fun. I mean, they're not strong, but they're fun. I have some good allies if I want to bring them into that so that we can, you know, actually get missions done and stuff. Oh, it'd be cool. I don't know. Maybe we want to try like something really wonky and weird. Then we go GSC. And GSC is the first one getting the codex for me. All right, let me turn. Airbrush. Super loud airbrush noise. Go! Compressor, done. Break down the airbrush a little bit. Dude, I love neon. I love it so much. Honestly, if I had known kind of, this is sort of an annoying thing, right? I'm getting back into painting. I started figuring all this cool stuff out where I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. I love doing that. Oh man, this other thing over here is really cool. This is a fun technique. This is a great little way to approach this side of things. Oh, this is fantastic. I can't wait to do more of this. Literally, now I'm in such a swing for how this is supposed to work and what I can do to make it work. And I'm already done painting my main army. So like, the Emperor's Children, when they come out properly, they'll probably look really good. Like, if we're being real, they'll probably look insanely good. I'm gonna wait for this to dry a little bit more. Maybe? Only a little bit more. The next Kill Team video in my list is another How to Kill Team video, because somebody commented on my roster building video. They were actually very mad that I did a roster building video. They were mad that it was confusing that I didn't do a How to Field a Team video instead, and that they would not recommend my channel to anyone. Okay. I mean, that's the community we get. I mean, we're playing a very nerd-focused game. So we get people like that that'll be a little pedantic and a little bit overzealous for criticism, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's the next plan, is we'll do a video showing you how to think of fielding a team. Because the issue I think this person had was they wanted me to kind of go down the list of like, oh, if you play Corsairs, bring a blaster, bring all the specialists, and make sure your leader has the neuro disruptor and a power weapon. And there you go. No, foreign languages. Hang on. I don't have anything that automatically translates. Oh, why don't I make videos explaining Kill Team anymore? Time. Right now, I'm in a situation where my parents are kind of moving. I mean, I don't make enough to live in this area, like on my own. So I've been kind of paying rent to my parents and staying with them because they need help as well. They have a bunch of rental properties that I help them out with. And now they're moving to a smaller house, so they won't need my help as much. And then I'm trying to move here where my sister is, because she's kind of handicapped a little bit, and I need to watch her occasionally because my parents they tried to make her independent. Didn't work out. So there's been a lot going on recently. I've wanted to do some battle reports, but my friends that I was recording battle reports with, like, they are super busy. One of them's getting married. One of them's kind of in full tilt speed with his job. So, like, he's super burned out every week. So, like, I can't really get battle reports done right now, which is something I actually really did want to do. But then it also comes down to, like, me trying to get videos out, because I want to do a bunch of stuff. Like, I can't just focus on Kill Team. I 100% believe that I cannot just focus on Kill Team, because if Kill Team goes to 3.0 and everyone hates 3.0, then what do I have? I have a channel that no one wants to watch because it's going to be about Kill Team 3.0, and no one likes the rules for 3.0. Like, it's going to be a whole thing. So I want it to be an expansive channel that does hobby work, that does strategic talks for other things, that goes over like different stuff outside of just Kill Team. And I think I've been slowly moving it that way to be able to do everything. Let me get this guy going. Like, I tried to do a video this week, but the video was mostly about the reveals that came out over the weekend. That's been like the core thing. But then, like, I was looking at the voiceover for it and it just didn't sound good. There was so much stuff in it where I was like, oh, this sucks. I don't like any of this. This was not worded properly. I mean, this, and then half the time when I'm doing it, and I need to get better at this, half the time whenever I finished voicing something over, in my head, what would be on screen would be this very well edited skit. And in a 8-minute video, I would have had 4 skits like that would have taken me an hour and a half each to edit. Which, when you're trying to do a quick turnaround, short 8 to 10 minute video, not great, because you're literally just spending a whole day doing that. I don't have a 40K tournament soon. I do have 2 games planned this weekend. I might get some recording from it. I can bring my camera with me that I have for that type of stuff, because the key element in what we're doing this weekend and going forward is Operation Stop Playing 10th Edition like it's 5th edition. Kind of a key here for me is I really would like to play 10th edition properly. I kind of know how I'm supposed to play it. I get it. I get the gist of what you're supposed to do in 10th edition to play well. But every single time I build a list, every single time I go to play, my brain always moves to, hey man, I need to try to table my opponent by turn 2. And guess what doesn't really work that well in 10th edition? Because that was the 5th edition method. Like, when you played in 5th edition, your goal was usually, how can I wipe my opponent off the table in a couple turns? And that's it. Because I think the damage to defense ratio for 2,000 point games wasn't good. I think it was 3,000 point games actually at the time. If I remember correctly. It's been forever. But in a turn, the weapon damage levels were so high that you were basically wiping out most of what your opponent had if you went first and you could see them. Which wasn't that hard. There really wasn't a lot of terrain on the field. If I remember correctly, line of sight was true sight for like the entirety of it. If you could see like the toe of something, you could shoot it. Which, I gotta say, pretty rough. Not only that, but indirect was, like, it's powerful now. It was way more powerful back then. Because indirect back then was guess. That's all it was. And if you were a person who could easily look at the board and make a call for distance, which actually wasn't that hard. A lot of the people I've talked to about it did the same thing I did, where you would look at the board, you would look at the models on the board. You would realize that the bases for the models were all a specific size, which meant you had on the field little examples of distance all over the field. So you could be like, all right, well, that's a 10-inch segment because of those models over there in the way that they're standing. So I could extrapolate that 10-inch segment visually, move it over here. Okay, my tank is 30 inches. I'd probably put it at 33 inches from the thing I need to hit that I can't see. Guess 33. Guess what? Dead center every single goddamn time. And you would drop ordnance that could one-tap everything into a squad. It just, I don't know, it made the game easy to just kill everything, which, not necessarily the best situation for players, because it just came down to whoever got initiative, and if you had this built-in skill of knowing where to shoot. That was 5th edition. Not 10th edition anymore, which I like, but I still don't mentally connect with, which is a problem. Because I feel like almost the entire time at the tournament I did go to, my game plan was, all right, I'm going to take my knights and I'm going to try to kill you turn 2. That was a terrible idea. Not only that, but I definitely picked wrong. I should have went with carnivores, but I didn't have enough missile hats. So I'm now in this, I ordered some. I actually found a good 3D printer online who was like, hey man, do you want missile hats? Yes, I would love missile hats, thank you. So we're getting more missile hats so that my armigers have missile hats now. Because honestly, the best thing you can do for Chaos Knights is go armiger, is go carnivores with missile hats, brigands with missile hats. Because the thing you don't want to do in that game is reveal your army to anyone. And that's it. That's how Chaos Knights work. Do not reveal the squad to anyone. Do not reveal the people. Do not put anyone in front of anyone else. Your game plan is to not give anyone the ability to shoot you with any weapons. And you do that with missile hats. I actually think I did win that orc game, but considering he didn't know how Battle Shock worked. Which I should have caught. That's on me. I do think I won that game, and the main reason I won it was because I had enough missile hats to kill all of his Gretchens in literally a round. He was unable to score on his backline points, and when he brought more Gretchens in to try to get to the backline point, I killed them again. There was nothing he could do about it. I was just outright killing his Gretchen and his scoring models. He was sending his Storm Boys to another point on the field. I killed them before they got to it with missile hats. That's the whole thing. You just prevent scoring units from scoring, which is great. You do that. It's going to be even better in the next season, because the next season they already showed cards, and it sounds like some of the more advanced scoring that you can do in that season requires battle line units to be on point, which means you cannot do the Rhino tricks. Like right now, transports, like cheap transports, super useful. They are just the most useful thing you can have on the field, because you can drop troops out of them to do something and then send the transport to somewhere else because it's quick, and you can do things like investigate signals, cleanse, just capture a point. You can do good work with transports right now. You won't be able to do that with any vehicles for advanced, as far as we can tell, missions in the next edition of the season for competitive play, which is, I think, really good. It's going to try to put more emphasis on people having battle line, and I think it's going to be a kind of stealth buff in a way to things like the Knights, because the Knights, I mean, War Dogs, Armigers, those are all battle line. So Knights actually have tank battle line, which is insane. Not everyone gets tank battle line. Meanwhile, you've got armies right now, like the Tyranids, who go Monster Mash, and they literally have no battle line on the field. They're all just big monsters. Well, that's not going to fly in the next edition, or the next season. I'm actually a little peeved by that orc mission. I was the third worst player at the tournament by the end of it, and I'm pretty sure I would have actually been much higher had I paid attention to the scoring that game. Because he kept cleansing and considering the points he was on with his orc boys captured. But I made sure every single unit that was near me, because I'm Knights, I made sure all of them were below starting strength so that they would have to take morale checks. And he kept making them. He was like, oh, made it. I was like, what the hell's the point in this? You're rolling at a -1, and orcs are okay. Like, the orcs are fine with your morale checks. You're making like 5 morale checks every round with orcs and telling me you're okay. And then I saw him roll a 3 and say he was okay. And I was like, no, 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 no. There is no way in hell. None whatsoever that orcs have a 3+ leadership. There is none. My 1,000 Suns can't have better than a 6 or a 7.
There's no way in hell Orcs are rocking a 3. I was like, dude, there's no way you have a 3 leadership. He was like, yeah, I rolled below my leadership. I was like, no! No!
Dude, it felt so bad. I'm pretty sure, because we were doing differential, I'm pretty sure I was like 40 points ahead of him. Because he wouldn't have been capturing any points. I was capturing points. I wasn't able to do side missions because he was holding me in place. Freaking orcs. Being orcs. But just the fact that he was, like, the difference in score at the end after finding out he didn't know how leadership worked, I lost by a point for differential, which means I lost by 5 points. Feels so bad, man. It kind of threw me off my game, too. Like, when I was there, I think it's one of those weird things that I didn't expect as, like, an oddity of how tournaments would work. But I was playing against people who were top 5 at LVO. Which, crazy to say out loud that I was playing against genuinely, like, internationally ranked players at a small gaming store in PA. That was nuts. Had someone told me that before I went, I would not have gone frickin' Knights. 100% I would not have been like, oh yeah, I'm definitely bringing Knights. I would have hunkered down. I would have made sure that I played like 4 games with either my Thousand Sons or my Genestealer cults to make sure I had all their mechanics down. I would have focused so heavily on cards and mission types, it would have been stupid. I would have activated sweat mode. But my brain was just like, yo, this is a small store in PA. There's no way you're going to be playing against top-tier people in the scene. I don't know how familiar you are with YouTube personalities for the 40K scene, but Dirtbags was there. I think it's 40K Dirtbags is the name of his channel. Like, that was the first team we fought against. He was on it. The guy I played against was like one of the LVO champs. Like, he was up there on the LVO winners brackets. Like, oh my god. Why? Why? It hurts so much. Anything good in chat? Did I freeze chat? What's happening? I did turn my one monitor off and back on again. Now I'm worried. Refresh. People are just being quiet. As per usual. I do want to get another Kill Team video out. I think the next on my docket is going to be a Kill Team how-to for team, how to field a team. Because like we were saying, the person was complaining that I talked about roster and that they wanted to know how to field a team. But I want to be able to position the video well enough. Because my whole issue is everyone that seems to talk about teams on the field and what you're going to play with, they always come at it from the perspective of this is the universal team, like we were saying. They come at it from the perspective of if you play Corsairs, you don't want the you don't want to ever use the Shredder. You don't want to ever use the the Wraith Cannon. You don't want to ever use the Shuriken Catapult. You don't want to ever use more warriors than you need. You don't want to ever use the leader with the rifle, because you always want like the most damage output, all close range function. And like, if you've watched any of my videos, I kind of hate that approach of thinking in Kill Team, because that approach always feels like it's leaned towards, oh, you're always fighting elite teams. Oh, you're always doing this specific mission that brings, and this specific map type that brings advantage to teams like this. Which isn't the case. You're not always doing that. Adapting your team for what you're about to go against and the mission you're about to take part in is so much more effective than just being like, oh, always go blaster. Okay. You're fighting cults, I 100% think you need to take whatever you can with blast, because there's no way a cultist player is going to be able to keep his units separated at all. It's actually impossible. He's always gonna bunch up. It's never not gonna happen. And you really need to kill, per activation, like 2 or 3 characters. Pretty much every round, if you want to make sure he doesn't keep mutating. Because he's going to need to figure out how to keep scoring, and he's going to need to figure out how to keep scoring with a much smaller force than you would want. The tools in the toolbox for Chaos Cults isn't as expansive as people think. But if you're rocking a blaster and you're like, oh, I killed your one cultist this round, it's like, congratulations, you did nothing. I'm glad you got to roll dice. I'm glad you're happy for it. Just so's we're on the same page. You literally did nothing. Good day, sir. Got those. What do I need to do next? We got the Russ Pink that we'll have to use. What are we missing on this guy? Any other flats? We can do Necromancer Cloak on this blade, if I can find. Do I have pre-existing Necromancer Cloak? Hell yeah. I would like to get to more tournaments. The local group that I ran with for the 4v4 just did Maryland Open, and one of them took 3rd. I think I saw that he took 3rd. He did really good. He's having a really good time. He used to play Custodes, and then he was like, I don't like this codex. Like a lot of people online seem to be. Like, I don't like this codex anymore. So he went to Necron, and now he's Necron. What, for you? Dude, Kroot, oh my god. I played against my friend's Kroot before they got buffed. Or okay, so I played against them when they got buffed the first time, and then they got, like, further enhanced recently or something. And, dude, like, I couldn't kill them. I played Hyrotech, and I actually went Blast, and I had the best start in the entire humanly possible game of being able to move dash my leader to the top of a building. And I admit, I did screw up. I keep forgetting that what are they called? Oh my god, dude, my brain feels so off. I'm way too focused on too much these days. Death marks, there we are. I found the word before looking it up. Yes. The death marks he had on the field, or the death marks I had on the field, were not supposed to be able to shoot. The one death mark that I dropped, he wasn't supposed to shoot. Because I keep forgetting they have heavy weapons. That's on me. I'm sorry. But man, I swear to you, frickin' biggest opening ever. Huge AoE into a lot of his specialists. Killed all of them. I saw on his face how mad he was that he wasn't able to hide that unit. And then we tied. Like, he was just like, I still got like 10 units left. Like, it was so weird. Just, that is such a horde team. And they're actually just easily able to do things, which is really cool. I really like them for that. Because they're not just like horde and then dumb. They're horde and then they still feel like they're functionally working. Which is really cool. But yeah, that'll probably end up being the video. I think the next video we'll do, and I'm probably gonna have to record it next week. Either that or I'll come here tomorrow. I wonder if I can script it tonight and then come here tomorrow and get a ton of B-roll. Because all my stuff's here. All my kill team stuff, all my settings, everything. Like if I'm putting a set, it goes on this table. And then I record from here. So like I could clean this up tonight, clear everything off, go home, write the script for how to field, or how to field a team and kill team. And we'll go from there. I'll see if I can get all the recordings done, and hopefully, I'm gone this weekend is the trick. My buddy's off for Memorial Day. I got 2 games scheduled, Friday and Saturday. We're going to be playing Thousand Suns because the Chaos Codex isn't out till Saturday, and I still want to learn. Like, I want to get in my head, like, do this, right? Like, try to go for some serious things. The thing is, I could take Thousand Suns, I could take my Genestealer Cult. My Genestealer Cult is fine. It doesn't have any pure strains, but I don't think I need them for my methodology. Pure strains are definitely good, though. 100% I think I need to snag some pure strains. That'll happen. And you said you were playing Mandrakes? Wait, did you get aggressive against the Kroot? Kroot melee is actually very scary. Like, unexpectedly scary. The freaking Kroot Skinner my buddy had annihilated most of my units. This is actually why I'm hoping Kill Team doesn't get
overly changed in Season 3. Or, not in Season 3, but in 3rd edition. I'm hoping they just refine the rules between the 2 editions. Because I do really feel like Kill Team right now is probably their best propped up example of a system that's skirmish that actually gets people excited to play it. And that can do really well when it comes to like balance and stuff like that. They could expand how match play works. They could expand how missions work. I think that would be fine. I think we might be okay with them normalizing RNG functions. I don't know how much stuff you guys have seen from the Kill Team information that dropped. Like in White Dwarf and stuff. Do I have the deck with me? I do not. Like, there are things that exist right now in Kill Team that allow you to create like random effects for the field. Oh, if you end your turn near heavy terrain, you have to, you know, take a check to see if you possibly get mortal wounds. Like that kind of stuff. There's really cool interactive function in Kill Team that isn't really used in competitive play, which I understand. You kind of want maximum, like minimum RNG, maximum just straightforwardness in your competitive play. Which is why AOS both seems interesting and a little worrying to me, because they are really leaning into RNG in AOS. I think it'll be cool. It'll be like a refresher. First time playing Mandrakes. Mandrakes look like probably a mid to high advanced team from everything I saw with their rules. They seem fun. Like, they seem really fun. You get proper teleports. Tons of defensive options. I cannot believe that it was Mandrakes versus frickin' Night Lords, though. Because, like, that just feels like 2 stealthy armies. Which, yeah, I have no idea how I feel about that. The concept of just dual stealth in a single box. It always feels normally that you play like one maybe horde stealthy army into another more straightforward durable. Like, they always have that difference, but this one was just like slightly less durable, but also very interesting and powerful. Like, specialty unit. It's so weird, man. It's cool, though. It's really cool. It's cool to see. I love that I click jazz and it's like, you want ragtime, bro? I'm probably gonna switch back to ambient. No, yeah, they're different. And I think the wording on the, isn't the wording on the one for the Night Lords Nemesis Claw team, like, actually not great? If I remember correctly, there was something bad about it where Vantage Point, technically by the law and letter of the wording, if somebody's on Vantage, the Night Lords lose all of their defensive stealth functions. Because, it's about being considered in cover or something, or considered, you have to be considered in conceal, but if you're on Vantage, you consider them not in Conceal. So like step 1's already out the window. But I think someone talked about, or maybe clarified, that the speed or pacing of picking what target is what still means that they're technically in Conceal. Like it's weird. I remember they just had poor wording, which Games Workshop. Weirdly, okay, so Underworlds is amazing for the wording and the rules and clarifications and being very specific and very mechanical, which is kind of what I like. And it's, as a game, people just aren't as interested in it, it seems, even though it is really good, in my opinion, as like a quick, fun little skirmish game. But then you look at Kill Team, and Kill Team feels like an afterthought when you look at the rules. They use like all different wording, all kinds of crazy, weird ways to have to declare something or say something. They don't make it simple. And then out of nowhere, everyone's like, I love this game. Jesus. In Midnight Clad. When determining if a friendly Nemesis Claw operative is in an enemy operative's line of sight and friendly operative is obscured if all the following are true. So everything has to be true. It has a conceal order. So I guess in most people's instances, you could look at that and go, okay, that's fine. Because if it has a conceal order, that's fine. Even if your opponent treats the conceal order as an engage order by being on Vantage, it's probably not the case that it'll override that. Because if it does, Vantage Point destroys in Midnight Clad. But it also has to be within an inch of heavy or light terrain or underneath a Vantage Point. And then, of course, 6-inch range. They're pretty good, though. And I kind of like that I can technically go, hey, I'm going to use my Legionaries as Night Lords. Because they're the same, like, they're the same freaking models, man. It is what it is. They are the same exact models. I mean, the Night Lord stuff is just an upgrade sprue for the Legionary. So it kind of works out. Get that Warplock Bronze. That Reichland Flesh. Leadbelcher. No, yeah, and that's, when you think about it, really, if you were like me and you started with, your collecting with Death Guard. Death Guard can be used as Legionaries. Pretty sure you can also just use them as Nemesis Claw if you really want to. Lore be damned. You can just say like, oh, this is the Plague Cloud team. They use Plague Clouds to obscure their sight, your sight, as they move up across the field and mess with you. It's like, oh, cool. It's really cool. It's probably the easiest team to go multiple directions with, since you can also use Death Guard as Legionary pretty effectively. You can even stick with the lore, honestly. Give them all marks of Nurgle. That's absolutely fine. Nurgle Mark is very meta. Yeah, this is what I want. I want this to sound like a Cowboy Bebop waiting room. Come on, YouTube, figure it out. Do you have the symbol on his back? No. Still like that I went with green cloaks. I'm happy about that. For the little guys, at least. Red cloak on the big guy. Makes him stand out in a good way. In a way that I like. Dude, I can't wait for the Chaos Codex. My Vashtor list in my head is just so perfect. It's exactly what I would want to run as a Thousand Sun list, but it doesn't work as a Thousand Sun list. And I'm actually kind of happy finding out that I don't need to mark anything in the Vashtor list. Marks are only important in Slaves to Darkness. Pretty much the limit of where marks matter. So I can just 100% rock out with my Thousand Suns models as a Vashtor detachment and not even care about what my marks are. Just be like, consider them all Tzeentch. Since the only thing that matters is whether or not they're a demon vehicle. A lot of Zamasi Desert here. Where the hell did my Deathclaw go? There it is. Yeah, we almost done. And then the team's done, which means the entire box of Mirrored City is done. Which means if I want to continue doing Underworlds, I do the starter set. Which is kind of reasonable. You gonna watch Cowboy Bebop in order there, Adam? Gonna put the movie in the right place. Dude, I love Vincent Villaggio. He's like my favorite friggin' villain character in that whole series. I know a lot of people point to Mad Perot as like the like crazy, the guy that everyone looks at and it's just like, this is badass. I don't know. All about that Vincent Villaggio. Soldier betrayed by his people. Infected with crazy bio weapon, but didn't die. Feels like he's trapped in limbo and wants to get everyone out. Completely crazy. Let's get the silver. Silver lining. Reikland flesh going on the brass. So again, I might stream tomorrow. It depends on what's going on. I might spend the day writing the script for my next week's video, just so that I know. Because I know my videos are kind of running behind, man. And I hate that. Internally, it does get to me. I try not to focus on it a lot, because if I focus on it too much, I get that like spiral of depression where I'm just like, well, maybe I shouldn't make a video anymore. And it's just, ugh, that is a bad place to go. Gotta try to avoid the hell out of that. All right, let's get the red violet going on the fur.
T-minus 90 seconds and counting. All systems are go. For about 90 seconds.
Dude, this is straight up Samurai Champloo. Oh yeah, this one has lyrics. Yeah, I'm okay with it. Screw it. Out here ratting. They were a good character split. That was a solid show, man. It was great because every episode was just like, how can we take the already existing genre of like samurai films and hit probably the coolest elements of them, and then just play jazz or frickin' kind of hip hop beats in the background. So good. I've always loved that method, man. That studio, mixing genre and sound, oh, pristine. Every single time, man, pristine. Oxidization in here. We'll pull it up in a second. Get some of it together. Get some blood. What time is it? 12:26. Sweet. All right, go for it. All formats are kind of accepted. My local group really likes Rivals, and in my opinion, Rivals is just like the best function for the game. If you play another function, it gets a little bit like Yu-Gi-Oh-ish, because the seasons have banned cards and stuff. And then you kind of need that like full-blown information of what all the cards are. There's websites that are actually really good for this, though, for building decks, finding specific effects and things you might want to do. But like, I feel like at the highest end for Nemesis, or whatever, I think one's Nemesis and there's another mode, which I think is like Legends or something. There's just something about it, man, where it feels too try-hard. It feels too sweaty, and I can't accept it as like a good approach to the game, simply for the fact that if you didn't purchase every single season set, every single one-off box that has cards in it, if you did not buy all of it, you're not going to be competitive. That I hate. I actually really hate that. That is the part about other things I don't really like. Rivals I actually enjoy, because even you do get those sets. You do get the universals, the universal decks. Like I have 2 of them from the Weird Hollow set. You can use them. Go for it. 100%. Just go for it. It's collected in a way where it's not like you're trying to really gimmick someone out of a victory at all. I'm not just sitting there with a bunch of cards that are like, oh, I can push you and stop you from moving. I can ensnare you and you just can't do anything. Ha ha ha. Like that. It's so weird to go that route and be like, oh, let's do it. All right, we need Uniform Gray, we need Ash Gray. And Necromancer Cloak. Yeah, because the whole thing with Rivals is whatever the deck of cards that exists for that team you're going to use is, you can use it, apparently, to my understanding. I can pull up the rules here and double check that. The problem is, for some of the earlier teams, what a lot of people are saying kind of locally that I've been hearing is it's not it's not good. Oh, Rivals decks are what they are, man. Like, this is Spike Claw. Like, this is the deck that came with the rats. So I can only use Spike Claw's deck with Spike Claw. So like these cards are only usable with this team. This is Rivals. There are other decks you can get, which your thing might have, but there are limits within Rivals though. Let me pull the Rivals limits up. And you don't have to follow the limits necessarily if you're gonna play with friends. I think someone used a really old deck when we played against them. We were all like, whatever. Oh, freaking. There's like a million of these baseball-based things here. So the Warhammer community page has a download section. This is something you will want to consistently check if you want to play any games within the overall system. If you go to the Warhammer Underworld section, it has the Wintermaw rulebook. This is important. The rulebooks change over time. They usually adjust some rules, add some rules, remove some rules, clarify some rules. And then whatever the most recent rulebook is, that's the one that matters. Because the Weird Hollow book claims that a unit who is under the effect of a super action, if you activate that unit, you can not do anything. Like, you can attack with it, but you can't, like, move or something. The Weird Hollow book is very specific about that. Oh, no, they can't attack. They can move. That's it, I think. But in the later rules, they change it. Because they want people who are super actioned out and maybe limited in their characters on the field can then do something else. Like, they can go do something else and actually achieve goals. So they lifted the restrictions in a later book. And Wintermaw is on there in its complete form, so you can just check that. And if you're wondering about Rivals, you scroll to the bottom, you can go to Rivals. Deck building, Rivals. Rivals deck that only includes cards with the warband symbol, which is what I just showed you. Universal Rivals deck from Gnarlwood, Weird Hollow, Deathgorge, or Wintermaw. You said you had Dire Chasm. I don't think you can use the Universals from Dire Chasm, or maybe your friends don't care. Where cards have been printed in more than one product, they are assumed to have the wording of the most recent printed versions. Then boards, you can only really use the boards for Wintermaw, Deathgorge, Weird Hollow, Gnarlwood, or the starter set, the most recent one. But again, if your friends don't care, who cares? And then it's best of 3. And that's it. So, like, in my Weird Hollow, let me go get it. In my Weird Hollow box, I have other Rivals decks pre-built. There we go. So if I wanted to play Ephelims, and I should probably put these in sleeves. If I wanted to play Ephelims, and I wanted to not do the Ephelim deck, I could play this. It's Toxic Terrors. It tells you all the cards that are required for it. I could play Ephelims, I get the plot, and then boom. These are the objectives, these are the abilities. Ephelims with the characters now has to achieve these goals, use these functions. Which I don't think there's any spells in here. Which kind of ruins Ephelim's purpose. But, I mean, maybe it's worth going this way, because there's a lot of poison counter cards here, and poison does crazy stuff. Yeah. So you have the Dire Chasm box, which is an old box. Technically, it doesn't work in the Rivals format right now. So if you went to a tournament that was Rivals formatted and was very serious, you could take the team and then a Rivals deck that only includes cards with that warband symbol. So there you go. You wouldn't be able to use the Universals in that situation.
And then I think in even later situations, like Relic and Nemesis, I think Relic you could. Relic is just do whatever for the most part. Relic doesn't care about boards. Relic doesn't care much about cards, although there is, similar to how Yu-Gi-Oh works, there is a list right now of restricted cards that you can't take for objectives and power. So you'd have to, if you're going to play Relic mode and build decks, you need to check this list on their website. Rivals, which is what we talked about. Nemesis. Nemesis has similar limits to how Rivals works, but it lets you build decks. Hang on, Nemesis might be a little different. Rules for Nemesis deck building can be found in the Warhammer Underworld's Winter Model Rulebook. A Universal Rivals deck you pick must be from the following season. Oh, okay. So this limits the cards you can pull from to build to the more recent box sets for Universals. And then it also says you can now include the Mirrored City cards as well. And then it limits the boards in a similar fashion. That would be outside of Rivals. I'm guessing they're saying to mix your cards for your team with other cards. You have the older deck, which I think I've seen older card stylings. And the older card stylings are very different from the newer ones, because one of the guys at the tournament had an old Chaos team. And his cards were so crazy looking. Like this is what a power card looks like. His had like a full art and then like a small box with like a little bit of information, and that's it. And then these are what objective cards look like for the new stuff. And he had similar thing. It was like a full art with a tiny little like octagon or something in it, or a little shape that just had some simple info in it. It was kind of cool looking, but also a little like eh. His character cards were weird too. They are where they are. I like the current format in terms of visual aesthetic and everything. I'm gonna have to remember to pack these boards up before TMG. I might try to pack them up before this weekend too, since I'm gonna be hanging out at my friend's house. I'm trying to get him to play. Last time I was over there, he was really burned out though. All right, let's finish this guy up. Where is my Necromancer Cloak paint? I'm gonna need to heavily reorganize my paint buckets, because holy crap, this looks insane. Ugh. So much to do, man. There it is. No, yeah, the new cards are a lot more organized visually. I think aesthetically, the other ones are more interesting looking, but I don't know if you want interesting cards versus cards you can look at and go, oh yeah, I get this. I fully understand what I'm supposed to do. Who else is excited for quick reference cards in AOS? I am. Fun fact about me, when I was getting into the more recent, or I guess the prior at this point, AOS version, because the store was getting into it, the local store. We were trying to get some more stuff. What's up, Jacob?
We were getting into the older AOS, like, I guess, it's current season, I guess. 3.0 or whatever. We were getting into it. We were enjoying it. There's at least 3, I would say, people that go to this store and kind of hang out with us occasionally, who all are really like maining AOS. A few of them are starting to move to 40K. One of them in particular because he plays Khorne and he has a ton of Khorne demons, so he's gonna play demons, and then maybe pick up some World Eaters. Go from there. What up, Dragon? But there's just this small contingent of people at the local group store who are super excited with the new AOS. And a lot of us are like, dude, we can't wait to play. Because we all took part in the, what was the Slither Scale Isle thing, where they wanted you to kind of slowly build an AOS army, because you needed to start at the small scale, and then they were like, hey, you can continue playing small scale, or maybe you can up it to the large scale. Oh, dude, I have alternate prints. The tournament I went to gave me alternate prints. Want to see some? I got alternate prints for actually Weird Hollow. It was super useful. Super useful. We got some alternate art for abilities. They gave out sort of a random pack of ability cards. I think the goal, they might be trying to do like small scale Underworlds tournaments at stores to try to get people's hands on random cards so they can start playing Rivals. Because he really did just hand me like 20 cards. Wait, there's cards that came out with novels? I could see that. That's like the worst kind of crossplay. Is like, hey, you gotta buy a book if you want these cards. Why would you do this to me? Want to be competitive? Well, we want to sell our books. Let me get the alternate art cards. Because they are kind of cool. Did I put everything in this bag? I think I did. Oh no, that's all my 40K stuff. That needs to stay in there for this weekend. I also got plastic tokens for, I think, wound tokens, and I think one other tokens. Here we are, Domatons. Where did Ephlems go? Ephlems. I'm gonna be putting every single one of these card boxes in my Underworlds carry case that I'm getting. So, key art for Domatons. And normally, the other side, the inspired side, is exactly the same, just with a gold border. Boom! Alternate art. It's from the tournament. Should probably turn servo back on. So yeah. I actually put the cards in here. There's 2 cards in this container because I have the original as the main side and the alternate there. What sucks is
they've rebalanced these cards in data slates, like a lot of them, and then they gave me the alternate art and it has the original rules, which I guess is fine, so it's not as confusing. Boom, look at that. He's so angry. I really like the Ephilim's ones though. Ephilim is my team. That's my main team. I will always play Ephilim if given the chance. I just have so much fun with them because they're so stupid. They do such dumb things and I love it. There's so many abilities and functions in Ephilim's that's straight up like, hey, you hurt me, I get points. Hey, you did this thing that you think is really good for you, I get points. So yeah, Ephilim, boom. Little dude. That's not so great. That one's cool. I love that one. That's a solid upgrade. This is a weird looking character though, the half Zangor. Starfish though, fantastic. Great art, horribly placed. The worst placement, because it honestly should have been flipped probably the other direction and been fine. But yeah. Alternative art. It was great because at the end of the tournament he handed us all these cards and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. I don't play freaking Nemesis. I don't play Legacy. And then he was like, yeah, but there's characters in there. And I looked at the characters and it was all the characters I had and I like using. Solid play. Hopefully they do more tournaments. I don't know though. That store, the Warhammer store near me is fantastic. They try to do events once a month. They do a ton of really cool things. I'm gonna try to rework my Chibi character that I posted in the Discord. I like him, but I also don't like him. We'll figure something out. But yeah, it was really cool. They do good events though. The AOS event was fantastic. The Kill Team event that I won a trophy for it, also really good. Now that everyone's doing tournaments, we're actually trying to get some stuff together. Like we're trying to get a team name and we're trying to get kind of like a logo and everything. And I think we're kind of considering the idea of using the store owner's face as like our logo and our mascot. I think that'd be kind of awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to love streaming to you people. Even though we don't get like a metric ton of people in here. Some of the days, man, where I'm like kind of feeling a little down, it's been cool just chilling, talking to people. Yesterday we had someone who was like, oh, I'm making models for mechs. I was like, that's cool. He was like, you probably never heard of it, 5-star stories. I was like, dude, I love 5-star stories. What are you talking about? He was like, what? No one's ever heard of that. Just the random little things like that makes this great. Love it. No, yeah, the character I'm using now is going to be... the chibi idea is that it pops up once in a while. Right? Like if my character in a video talks about something he's remembering, it would be a chibi character. But I think I'm gonna try for not like a pure chibi character. I'm gonna try something that's a little bit closer to how you would look at art for games like Darkest Dungeon.
That would be kind of more the methodology I think I want to lean into. Very polygonal. All right. The last touch. The final moment. And then I think we'll try to build a little bit of my Warpsmith today. We're not going to go all in because, I mean, we're not getting the Codex till Saturday. I don't need to worry about it as much. Which means the 2 games I'm going to play this weekend aren't going to be the list I actually want, but it'll give me vision of what I actually want to play going forward. It'll give me some understanding, mechanically, things to think about. I want to consider the things that I have already thought about for my Vashtor list to be like, yeah, this is what it needs to actually be. But I can't really be sure, right? Like, I need to see how strategically some of the ideology that I'm going to be putting behind my list building works. Because at some point I do want to actually put out 40K videos here for like the how-to kind of situation. Hell yeah, little red dot eye. But in my current state, everything I think of, everything I've been writing down as 40K methodology and 40K strategy, it feels more like theory crafting than it does practical theory. So we need to get some practical theory going. I've played a bunch of games casually with meme lists, so I can't say that that was practical theory. And I've played 2 tournaments where I played not great lists. So that's also not really practical theory. No, this is red. I actually used red here. I had to use red from the SoFlat. Magenta probably will work as well, though. Either way, fluorescent. That's the main thing. So I use high flow fluorescence for my airbrushing effects, the whole shadow thing and all that. That way it's blacklight reactive, it's super bright, it's great. Fantastic. Red doesn't exist in high flow because there are chemicals that are required to make fluorescent red that are very harmful to your health. So you don't want to inhale them. I could see magenta being really good though. Either way, if you're gonna paint some Skaven eyes and you want to go super bright, I highly suggest getting a fluorescent color, but then first applying a white. Of course, I mean, you probably already know that. Know that when I give a suggestion for how to paint, I'm just trying to give the whole information, just in case there's other people watching who are like, huh, that's interesting. It's not me being like, haha, you have no idea how to paint. You probably do. There's some amazing painters in our Discord, man. Some of the stuff people are posting up, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Boom. Wins? Let's see. My test game where I learned, I lost, and then I went straight to a tournament where I won the first one, but I put an asterisk next to it because I accidentally put 2 pieces of objectives next to each other because I completely forgot they're supposed to be 2 squares apart. So that's an asterisk. I'm not considering that a pure victory. I annihilated them as a character because I kept getting really good rolls on stuff and damage. And I was defending everything they were hitting me with. Like, Daughters of Cain, that's, I keep saying Jesus. Daughters of Cain, kind of awesome. The whole, like, they multi-attack and stuff. It's really cool. What, for the eye? Yeah, that could be good. Or are you going to try to, like, do a glowy effect? Magenta is great, man. But yeah, so I use So Flat Red, which means it's also very matte. Like, you can barely see what's under it. So you don't need to really add anything to it. You just poke it down, you got the red. But we mostly use High Flow for everything else. So, loss for the test game, although it was a 1-point loss. Then we did a victory that I don't count, a loss that actually felt really bad. It was a low scoring game. I think by the end of it, the score was 9-5. It was so low scoring. Like, we just couldn't do our missions. Every mission we drew was just like, there's no way I get this. It was so bad. And literally by the end of the game, we were just like, well. There's a Spanish song in the background. Not this one. This is the Happy Birthday Jazz Waltz. So the prior one to this was Bomba Pa Siempre by Jimmy Fontanez. I'm gonna type it in chat for you. There you are. Again, Jimmy Fontanez. Dude, I hate YouTube's back-end music system, which kind of sucks. Cause, like it's so obnoxious. They don't organize things well because they don't have a whole section for like. It wouldn't be like ethnic music. It's a whole other thing. But like jazz is jazz, and there's definitely like Spanish feeling jazz and like other kinds of good jazz. But I feel like a lot of the times they're just straight up like, whatever. We'll just throw it in there. It kind of sounds like jazz. It's like, dude, please stop. But like YouTube music gets a lot of interest and a lot of good stuff, and the people who were making YouTube music were getting not paid at all. Like they were poorly paid by Google. So they decided to make a union because they were allowed to. It's California. And then they made the union, they voted for it, they got into a union, and then they were like, hey, by law, we have to talk about what's going on with our whole little group over here. We need to adjust pay, maybe get benefits, you know, because we're making you millions of dollars and you're barely paying us. And then Google was like, nah. So they decided to like go to court or something to try to force them into a talk. And while they were up there talking to the people in the government about this, one of the people from their office comes in and goes, yeah, we don't have to talk to them anymore. Google fired us all. Like they just got rid of the whole department. And I feel like a week after I saw that, there was a video on the back end of YouTube that talks about to creators. They're like, oh, do this, focus on this, learn this. There's a whole video talking about how amazing YouTube music is. I was like, oh my God, man. The ruthlessness. The sheer and utter ruthlessness. It's so crazy. But yeah. Yeah. I kind of want to get my hands on a plinth that I can put them on and angle it so you guys can see them better. No, yeah.
They're just like, nah, brah. What's that? Workers' rights? Guess what? Alright, let me clean up a little bit. We're gonna work a little bit on my warpsmith. A little bit. Because I do really want to work on my warpsmith. I don't think I'm going to worry about the starter teams for Underworlds right now. They're going to be on the back burner. I feel like it depends on the union itself. Like there's ones that are led poorly. I think there needs to be a little bit more of a method for it, right? But the problem is without them, it's been found very consistently that since workers have no protections for certain types of jobs that people feel could easily have workers replaced, like they're not considered skilled work necessarily, or at least the people who run them don't think they're skilled work. And it's that situation of like, hey man, we did the math, and our entire group here made you $5 million this year, and in total you spent $20,000 or like $40,000 on our little group here. We're not living well. You're kind of making our lives miserable, and you're reaping the rewards of it. Maybe, bump up our income a little bit. And like, you don't have the protections if it's just one guy asking, because then it's like, nah, you can get out. But if it's everyone, that's scary for a big company. So without it, like, problems happen. But then you get things like the people at Starbucks tried to unionize, and Starbucks was like, oh yeah? Dude, some of the things I've seen come out of that, oh my god. You wouldn't expect a coffee shop to be that ruthless, but guess what? But some of them are bad, because some of them, the people running them get most of the benefits. As well as have the potential of screwing people over. I'm really happy with how these guys came out. They look so good together. There's only 5, right? Like I'm not about to figure out that I have one more thing that we need to find. I can't believe it. I moved the black paint after we were done the guys we painted, and literally he was behind. Like just standing behind them. They can definitely be problematic at times, but it always depends on, as I said, who runs them. So yeah, it's 5. So we got Hammerman. We got... This one is this guy. One's this guy. That guy. That guy. Yep, that is the full team. Good. I can now varnish these today. So, my Underworlds collection so far. Goes yellow after a little while. the color balance changes. Seems weird. Mole logs. The Briar. I really like how the Briar Queen came out. This is how I would 100% paint all of my my freaking Ghost faction if I ever went this direction. Yeah. I love the Gits. The Gits look so good. The Gits look fantastic. Their little OSL. These were more focused on trying to make the units look good and then hitting them eventually with some OSL lighting. We used contrast paint over top of like a pre-shade thing. So those are the mirrored city teams, which I was really hoping to get done painting before talking about Underworlds, because then you guys would have seen more painted units. And we got Domatons. And Ephilums. Might snag a picture of this. Oh, dude. See, this is what we were talking about, I think, yesterday with picking good paints. A lot of people hate Abaddon Black for literally the reason you're saying. Honestly, if you use a lot of black in your painting, if you go online or if you have an art store near you, oh God. Why is that so bright? There you go. I highly recommend So Flat Black. Highly recommend this. It is so good. It is so smooth. We used it on every single one of the borders down here for all the bottom parts, and it looks satin smooth. It is so good. Fully recommend it as a paint to have in your arsenal, because that is a huge container. You will most likely never run out of it. Do you have no way of ordering it online through? Because I think Golden lets you usually order through their own website, which is usually good. I do not know why this monitor had weird little issues on it. Because it doesn't now. I guess there might have been a small power surge starting everything up that caused problems. Let me get a picture of all of them together. Get a couple pictures of all of them together. No, yeah, that's Amazon. But most companies, even though they sell through Amazon, they also sell through themselves. Because they do want people to order from them, which is obnoxious. Like, well, that's not obnoxious. The obnoxious part is that we are at this point where it's like, there's one thing that tries to monopolize everything you purchase to a horrible degree. And then there's companies who are just like, look, just order through us, please, for the love of God. We'll get you stuff cheap. Those videos are up, Pyro, of how we did the ghosts. But basically, you can probably... Let me zoom in for you. You can probably do this in a dry brush fashion. You prime white, kind of the way you work. Wait, where are they based? The bases come with the stuff. So it's primary... Oh, golden. I don't know where golden's based. You just have to look up golden paints. I feel like golden will want to ship anywhere that you order. I feel like they will. Although it is a problem because it is paint. Some paints have bad chemicals in them, so shipping gets weird. But yeah, you'd color it white. You start with a fluorescent green. You then fade into a fluorescent magenta or some form of magenta. You then dry brush down the angle you want with a purple, like a mid-purple, light, like a darkish purple, not super dark. You then use the purple as kind of your place where you're going to paint everything. All the fabric goes from gray up to a really close to white gray, but not quite white. And then, yeah, you just do fluorescent reds on all the roses. And then I think I did turquoise for the base. And then I hit it with... the basing I actually hit with some of this neon powder. I hit it with neon blue specifically. There's so many powders in here. I can't wait to just tinker with them. Potentially, I want, unless they have a distribution center in Canada, which I don't see why they wouldn't. That type of stuff usually speeds things up. All right, let me get all these guys away. Let me get the mirrored tower people into my varnish box so I can varnish them on the way out today. The fade is airbrush. The fade is straight airbrush. If you've got an airbrush, it's usually super easy. Again, golden brand. And you are looking at these two paints specifically. If you have an airbrush, and you love this, grab every single fluorescent from High Flow. It's just these two. I start with green, all the way, pretty much all over green, up to a point, and then we go to magenta. And that's it. Fluorescent green, fluorescent magenta, and you're good. That's how you start it. And since you're rocking an airbrush, as you say, you're gonna want on hand a pretty good airbrush purple. You usually want either an airbrush purple or an airbrush blue. I think I actually dry brushed these though. I dry brushed them with the So Flat Red Violet. So I manually did the purple part. Okay, varnish box, you've got this. There's one character I might need to glue another magnet into.
But yeah, if you like glowy effects and you want to do ghost stuff, 100% get the high flow fluorescent paints. I love them, man. They look so good on ghosts, especially when you activate the black light. You hit these things with black light, they glow. They like physically glow to the point where the stuff around you, the stuff around them reflects it. It's just so good. It's one of the things I'm thinking of, because there's a person near here who's thinking of contracting me to... Oh, God, that sounds a little wrong. Commissioning, there's the word. Commissioning me to either make like a Death Guard Terminator, which we'll probably do on stream if he wants me to do it. And he might also get me to do his Mortarion. And if he gets me to do his Mortarion, I have a laundry list of videos I have saved. I have no idea. Honestly, yeah, I'd have to figure out what, like, I don't paint that way normally. Sometimes I'll think about what the thing it could be from and then I'll paint that way. But Skaven clans. Dude, there's so many clans. Color schemes. Here we go. Symbol-wise, they would be Mordkin. Mordkin is the symbol that's on their back. I did not paint them Mordkin, because Mordkin is... Well, technically, I got close. Mordkin is light fur, which we did, but it's also black cloth, which we did not do. I think they're Mordkin. They use this symbol a lot. Color-wise... Color-wise, they might be closer to Vritgen. Clan Mange from Minor Clans, maybe. Clan Scuttle. That's also a possibility. The shield that one of them wears is the shield from Clan Spittle. So I don't know. I'm actually not sure. Clan Pestilin. Nah, they're not really Pestilin. Oh, music's over. Next. All right. I want to do a little bit with the Warpsmith. I want to get at least some of the baseline Warpsmith built today. Even if it's without the chain, we can always work a little bit on the chain. Clan Carrion. Let's take a look at that. Skaven Clan Carrion. Oh, the triangles. Nice. Is that on their armor or is that just on their flags? So their armor looks blue? Is that what I'm looking at here? This guy painted all their weapons to be glowing green. I feel so seen. So their armor is blue and like a silvery metal. That's pretty cool. If that's actually their colors. I don't know if that's the colors. Is this the colors? Oh, here we are. So red fur, silvery armor, and it looks like green fabric.
That could be pretty cool. You people trying to go for legitimate color schemes while I'm out here just being like, hey, you know what would look cool? I do paint my Thousand Suns, though, kind of color-oriented. Not without purpose, though. Like, I feel like the color orientation I've done... Is this the right box? No, this isn't the right box. I feel like the color orientation I've taken for my Thousand Suns is... it's okay. A lot of people like to have the armor plates be very bright blue, which I like. I do. But I wanted to try to find a quick way to do it that I liked. I mean, that's kind of the combo. You want it to be quick, and you want it to be something you like. So doing blue contrast over gold, as well as burgundy contrast over gold and purple contrast over gold, actually ended up looking really cool to me, so I went with that. We're also going to need to spend a little bit of time, either this week or next week, fixing my not my Hell Brutes, my Forge Fiends. We need to fix them. Specifically how the magnets are set in them to make sure that the guns don't move around. We're gonna want to record a bunch of this. Ooh, what's my local store putting out messages for? Usually it's a board game day or something. Annual flea market. Oh, okay. Zoom out a little bit. Get some B-roll. Snapping all this stuff off. Super worried about these wires. I do think I still want to do the chains and skulls. I think that looks much better as a Thousand Sun style warpsmith. We're gonna get the key components off. That's gonna be the big thing. Making sure we get core body. We're gonna want to shave off maybe some of the iconography. Because as with most things in the Chaos Space Marine Codex, almost all of their general models look very undivided in terms of their visual aesthetic. There's usually just a lot of very basic skulls, a lot of very basic undivided symbols. Kind of want to get rid of those. This first one will make a hammer. Actually cool going this route. It's an oval, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, warp smiths are weird. Definitely want this gun. The thing is, they actually sit on the base in an oval because this part comes off of the back of their backpack and it becomes a cape. So you can put them forward on the base and then they just have this really long, flowy cape of cables behind them.
Poggers.
Poggers. What's up, Owen? That would, I feel like if given enough time, if someone was like, yo, do you want to play Skaven? Here's a ton of Skaven models, paint them. Or if somebody at the store was like, I'm going Skaven for, oh no, is that broken? No, it's not. If they're like, I'm going Skaven for the new edition and I want a really cool paint job, will you do it? I would probably charge them an arm and a leg and I would paint them like Harlequins. What's up, Arturo? I would give them all kinds of like checkerboarding, tessellated armor colors. They would look like Harlequins. Like, I would spend an entire month streaming to you guys. There would be no videos. Videos are all gone. I do want to get a new video out though. Again, like, I know it probably doesn't matter as much, but internally I am weirdly sorry that I didn't get a video out this week. Like, staying up at night thinking about it, levels of sorry. I kind of hate that. I have no idea what this is. Oh, I know what this is. Painting Skaven was good. We powered through the one that I missed today, got it all done. Oh, you're trying to think of converting one of your 30K models to a warpsmith? Technically, there are adapter. I feel like you could almost, and it would weaken it greatly, if you had a base for 30K and you kind of like figured out the sizing for it so you could drop it. I mean, that would be impossible, wouldn't it? To drop it over top of the model because the model would come out over the edge. Yeah, that'd be weird. So things we need to do. Just double check the order for this. Yep, weird shoulder thing in place, and then backpack. And then we go with the front leg, and then the front facing legs, and then the front foot. I'm pretty sure we can take this to kind of the core model that I want, that we're not gonna glue to the base anytime soon. Get some bold lines. Yeah, but like, okay, we all kind of expected the Emperor's Children index to be just some models. It was never going to be, hey, here's a really cool special rule. I mean, the main thing is that Lucius has to be your leader, and it makes Noise Marine's battle line. It's the core of it, which is kind of like what the Eldar thing does with the Harlequin troop. Oh, I actually need this one too. Harlequin troop does a similar thing where it's like, hey, you need the Harlequin lead if you want to run Harlequins as battle line. That's all it is. It was never going to be deep. I mean, I don't know if anybody was saying out loud, hey man, this the index they drop for these guys is going to involve like new characters and new units and the Slaanesh version of all the different... No, that was never going to happen. It is very clear that we are going to get a Emperor's Children thing, an Emperor's Children Codex, eventually, which is cool. Why the whole dono thing is in the corner. Cough, cough. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, that they're going to try to put demons in the detachments? I could see that because it would be a great way to not cause problems, but they're not going to get rid of the Demons Codex. I'm going to tell you that right now. They need to adjust how Allies works. They do. I get what they did and why. I get why they kind of leaned it the direction they went. Where they require battle line. Because the issue with meta is always that someone figures out the thing that you have to go. There's no way you're going to be able to win games without it. So when somebody was like annihilating games as Thousand Suns, literally because for what, 120 points, you could take two of the best deep striking lone ops demons in the entire demon book. Yeah, no, there needs to be downside to you doing that. I wouldn't say taking Blue Horrors is a downside, though. But they do need to rework a lot of the demon function, because this guy here... freaking obnoxious. I hate how you have to get this, and I hate kind of what it all entails, right? I genuinely do not like the method that you have to go through in order to get that unit. As well as most of the leaders for the Thousand Suns. Outside of course, Lords of Change. If they make the demon thing go poof, I feel like there's gonna be a lot of really pissed off Demons players. I don't know if they make it go poof, especially since they have the index for it, and because Be'lakor isn't in... I mean, they could release him as an index, but Be'lakor is not in the Chaos Space Marine Codex as a standalone. And if they make Be'lakor go poof, that would be mind-blowing. I feel like the Codex... Okay, I don't know if it goes poof, but hear me out. One of the best ways that they have to keep demons balanced is the fact that they don't really add anything to the team. Like, I'm not getting Cabal points from my demons. I'm not able to target them with things like Temporal Shift or anything like that. I can't do that as a Thousand Suns player. That's just not a thing. Right? So, what if the Chaos book comes out? Yeah? or the Demon's Book comes out. And in the Demon's Book, they are very explicit about how they don't really have a detachment. Or maybe they only have like 1 or 2 detachments. But they have a very intricate and exact function. Oh, this is too high. They have a very intricate and exact function for allies, where almost all the demons that exist have their own, of course, faction ability. I mean, that's not going to go away. But what is this ragtime? But something that they decide to focus on hell yeah. Is maybe like, oh, this is how allies work. And more of the demons exist with a lot more like aura abilities that help everything near them, and they actually become like a more defined ally team. Like you can still play them with maybe 1 or 2 of the detachments that they're gonna give them, right? But dude, I'd see it as a 2 detachment friggin' codex, 2 or 3. But then like there's just a lot of rules for, you know, being allies with other teams, so that they can actually bring something to the table in other teams. Because the fact that they lose Shadow of the Warp and all that other stuff by being an ally kind of sucks, man. But imagine any Chaos Army, right? Imagine Chaos Space Marines, imagine Death Guard, all of it, having a function where they can take an ally that has special rules that give them access to things like 3-inch deep strike potentiality and stuff like that they can't get out of normal things. It makes the demons more interesting to take, while simultaneously there needs to be, of course, maybe like a downside or like a refocus or a limit that feels good. And I don't know if it's going to be like 500 points you have to take battle line for every specialty unit you take. It feels a little weird. There's got to be something else. Maybe like you have to take an HQ unit and then you can take other stuff. Because technically, taking a character unit feels more of a detriment at times. Greater Demons probably not so much. But with how the game and Assassination works, feels rough. Like, getting another character for Genestealer Cult made me look at it and go, oh, God. All right, we need 1,000 Sun shoulder pads, which I should have a ton of, and I don't know why I don't know where they are. One of these boxes should just be 1,000 Sun parts. Oh, I think I found it. No. All right, hang on. Hang on. what's cool about what I've seen from the leaks for the Chaos Space Marine Codex is that the sorcerers and all that other stuff. Is this a Thousand Sun bag? No. Maybe? It looks like it. Are these sorcerer parts? These are sorcerer parts. Okay, these are Demon Prince. All Demon Prince parts. I think these also, these are some sorcerer parts. These are rubric parts as well. This is Genestealer Cult. Boom. So the spellcasters and stuff in Chaos Space Marines actually still feel really good. Yeah, I could see them want to go mono. 3 mono detachments and 1 undivided. Or 4 mono detachments, 1 undivided. I could see that. Because undivided needs to be able to access the benefits of everything. Probably has command pulleys for each mark individually as well as undivided marks. I'm guessing that's what currently is happening. Is that the current index? Is it's kind of undivided, which is why people try to run undivided with it. Because if you don't, you kind of screw yourself. Although mono corn does really well. I love the idea of demons, because when you talk about them in almost like Magic the Gathering terms. Great. These are just universal. So yeah, this would be like an undivided one, because there's nothing in here that is explicit about one faction or another. But it really should lean itself into the ally side of things. Because right now, one of the coolest elements of the Space Marine Codex is that if I want to play Black Templar, I can play in the Space Marine Codex as well. I could play Firestorm Assault Black Templar. It might not be good, but if I really want the ability to advance and shoot, or advance and use abilities and whatnot, I can do that. That's fine. This isn't the Sorcerer one. That's regular Chaos Space Marine parts for 1,000 Suns. This one's the Sorcerer one, which means there should be some really... Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, that shoulder pad's so good. These Rubric Marine heads? What the hell is this? Is this a source? Oh, this is the Terminator head, I think. That looks so cool. I mean, I kind of like this, because it's got the classic 1,000 Sun look. We'll hold on to that, though. Oh, and I have another Disc of Tzeentch that I didn't know about. What was I going to build with all these Discs of Tzeentch? I had an idea, and then I was like, whatever. Oh, I can't remember. Dude, I found my good parts, though. I'm so happy. Where's a good shoulder pad? I need one more good shoulder pad. This is where the staff arms are, too. Maybe we can actually go with a staff. Although most of my staff arms in here are two-handed. That's not good. That's no bueno. I'll grab a Zangor shield. Zangor shields are always good to have on hand when converting things. This might go on his backpack. probably grab another one for the second one. We have 2 Warp Smiths. I do not know if I'm going to use 2. I actually like the idea of going 1 Warp Smith, 1 Vashdor, and potentially 1 Terminator Sorcerer Lord with Terminator Squad. That way I only have 3 assassination targets, and none of them are going to be easy to get. Okay, so I have 1 Sorcerer Shoulder Pad. Here we go. Here we go. No. Yeah. I lost it. It's over here, though. Alright, found it again. I should just dump these out on my table like a heathen. Like a fiend. Oh, it's so beautiful. This is going to be great. Oh, yes. We're zooming in, bro. Screw it. I don't know, he looks so cool. He's already looking so cool. Frickin' Thousand Sun Warp Smith. Just using simple parts that you get way too many of, too. That's the great thing. I think we'll stick with the hammer. I don't need the staff. I like the idea of it, because it reads Warp Smith. It really does. Let's actually get this hammer together. My headphones are currently off my head, and the sound of the music you guys are hearing sounds like a compressor in a fridge that's not working properly. There we go. Where'd I put the hammerhead? There it is. Dude, I'll clip this guy clean off. I do think, honestly, my Vashdor list is going to be really fun, though. I love the idea of being able to just pick a tank and run it through a wall, including the Helldrake. I love how surprising the idea in my head is going to be that people who run all these really big flying monstrosities are going to just instantly get them sniped turn one by just a 20-inch threat range anti-fly unit. God damn, that's so good. The question is whether or not I really look at it and I factor in a lot of information and go, you know what? A second Helldrake sounds really good. Because if we do get to that spot where I'm thinking of it, and that's all I can think of is, yep, second Helldrake, we're doing it. Because I have like the spare room, I feel like I've got enough utility units. I feel like that second Helldrake sits in reserve, in hover. I don't think it goes as a flying unit, because the flying units are just garbo. You don't want to do that. Friggin' aircraft. That way you got the one Helldrake threat on the field, and if your opponent makes a mistake and moves units in directions he doesn't want to move them, you just drop them in the back. Oh, geez, thanks, Arturo. super appreciated, dude. For the most part, that's going to go towards the Emperor's Children stuff as well. I know it doesn't raise the donation goal. But yeah, man. Thanks, man. Hopefully I can get some more videos out for you guys. That'll be fun. I got some hobby video ideas. We just did a lot of video taking for the glow effect, so I could actually do a standalone video being like, hey, make stuff glow. Do it. Do it.
Poggers.
There's your poggers. From Nate the Hate himself. The uninitiated. Nate the Hate is a person I do another podcast with, or used to. He hasn't had the time to do the one that I'm on, but he does a different one, which is great. Greg, get to the bar. I wonder if I can actually change it manually. I probably can. Put that on later. I want to make sure the legs are proper. How's my one delivery hasn't gotten here yet? The info for it says it's been sitting in Newark for like 3 days now. The local area distribution center. Chilling. What if they dropped it and broke it and they're like, what do we do? The other thing I ordered is about to be reprinted and redelivered because the initial order of it didn't have everything in the time it takes for this one box I ordered to get to me. My buddy finished painting his Hunter Clade. I could steal his Hunter Clade to do a video of him. Maybe. I'll have to think about it. The thing is, this is one of those situations where if it's going to be a how-to for Hunter Clade, I'm going to have to kind of sit around and like really think, because most of the how-to videos for the factions that I've done, I've played them. I've either played as them or I've played against them. So showing you guys how they work feels good because I've done the conceptual stuff and then I've done the practical stuff. Keep doing this off camera. So when you do the conceptual and then you do the practical, like, you feel confident in your decision making. You feel confident in being able to tell people, oh yeah, this is why that works, or this is why you would want to do this. Just makes it easier. Whereas with Hunter Clade, my friend has them because he really wanted them, but he hasn't played them. And I haven't played into them, so I don't really know that much. So that's just me sitting down, reading all of their rules, front to back, considering their units, their speeds, their AP, considering the missions they have access to, considering all of it, and then thinking, oh yeah, this is how they work. I'm not going to trim these wires off just yet, because I feel like the final step is going to be me deciding, I figured out the chains, we can do the chains, or, dear God, these chains are going to kill me. Let's just do the wires. Hell yeah. It's great because he basically just looks like a sorcerer. I could probably even get away with potentially kind of cutting, clipping, reassessing, and then placing this over top of it if I need to. I would clip these off. Trim them. We'll probably actually clip down as well. Is I don't know how easy it's gonna be. Feels a little too rigid. Fine with it. careful with this. This is why the shields for the Kyriks are better, because they don't have the arms pre-attached to them. Question is, do I think it's okay looking? Do I have to shave something down? I feel like the smaller shield might be better. Maybe not though. They're still kind of really big and bulky. We'll have to think about it. Or the idea. For now, the main changes are just the head and the shoulder pads, and he already feels that much more Tzeentch-esque. There's a lot of little pieces and components that we can maybe get away with in one of these bags. In particular, there's things, let me see if I can find one, that I didn't use at all. I'll also take a look at this real quick. There's things that I didn't use originally when I put sorcerers together. Like books that are attached to chains, scrolls, just little details that are good for kind of sorcerer style units. Yeah, here we are. That's one. There should be a second one in here somewhere. Ooh, I need to grab a couple shoulder pads as well for the other one. Oop. That could actually be good to replace the backpack with. The little scarab symbol. Probably pull some components off of that for the other one. I want to use the ravens for this guy. I have one of the two raven tabs. Oh, I think I found the other. Yes. Surprised I'm not seeing more like scrolls and books, because I didn't use a lot of them, if I'm being honest. I didn't really get into like attaching too many side components to any of my sorcerers. I kind of just threw them together, got them painted. Really hoping I'd have more. Like if I could hang like a book off this guy's belt. Or even just a rolled up scroll. Would be great. What the hell is this? Oh, that's cool. Last bit of conversion for today. Something to get my brain juices going because we might come back tomorrow and work a little bit more. But I kind of want to see this and go from there, right? Because I pretty much never used the character models that required you to hook these things into them. I were to try to set this up, it would be kind of like that, I think. Maybe? The thing is, I kind of like this as an idea for cutting the cables off and then just using the robe function. Because we have a lot of them. But then the second warp smith wouldn't really work. I'm gonna hold on to these. We'll go. Cut these off. Underworld's box came. Sweet. My carry case that I actually ordered, it's a small one, so I figured it would fit all the cards and everything I need in it, so I can just keep it all in one spot, just carry it wherever I need to go. So we're gonna put a little bit of Tamiya on the top here. Jam it up that way and pull it forward. Perfect. Oh, I'm loving this. Phone call. Okay. I'm gonna get moving here. I'm probably not gonna be able to build the box till tomorrow. I'm loving where this is going though. The only other thing we need to think about is the backpack, right? Like, the Mechanicus symbol there is fine, I think. But I feel like it's not niche enough. I feel like we could almost forcibly cover it up, but I don't know. Some of these symbols, are a little too big, I think, to just chuck on the back here. Like, I would almost have to trim everything off of this that isn't the scarab to then put in the middle. I don't think that would work. but it bumps into these things up here. Problematic. Why does my camera feel like it keeps going to like a yellow lighting thing? I don't know. It's weird. I'm gonna take some pictures of it though. And then yeah, we'll figure out if we want to go chain, if we actually want to do it, or if we're just gonna be okay with the wiring. Which we'll still paint to look like magically infused or heated up or something. We'll do something with it. We'll do something. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for talking. I know it's a weird stream. Again, I'm probably not going to be streaming on Friday because I'll be at a game. We might stream tomorrow as well. Depends on what we're doing, because we can get some more busy work done. Or, depending on what I write tonight, I might start work on another video, because that could also be a good idea. Try to get a video in. Either way, I gotta get moving. Until next time, guys.